getting things done. Fixing Auckland's gridlock traffic. You know that I stand for integrated infrastructure, moving Auckland forward.
There's been exaggerations, one-line jibes, false allegations.
Wacky and Wally.
Wacky.
I had porridge this morning.
Both as bad as each other.
This is the serious business of the Auckland Mayoralty. I put it to you.
Well, first of all, I come from a business background, and that makes me different from the other candidates. The other candidates are career politicians. John Banks has been in politics now for about 18 years. Christine Fletcher's been in politics for 10 years. I haven't been in politics at all.
There's only so long you can trade on your good looks, and I would like to see what he's made of.
It's because he can sleepwalk into the Mayoralty by being Mr. Nice Guy, and Helen Clark's toy boy doesn't wash with me. He stupidly suggests that we start from scratch.
I would much sooner have Christine Fletcher as Mayor of Auckland than the other candidate. So if, God forbid, I went under a bus tonight, I hope the people of Auckland would be smart enough to vote for Christine Fletcher. My other opponents' propositions are wobbly, they're wicky, they're wacky, they're off the wall, they lack credibility. It's just bizarre that no homework has been done before that opponent entered the race.
Thank you, John. Question.
Welcome to the world of politics.
I just don't think he has any idea of the magnitude of this job.
He's been avoiding me. He won't make eye contact. He won't shake my hand. And at the Radio Pacific radio station last week, I asked him if he was getting over the flu, and he said, "Stop prattling, you silly turkey."
I'm worried about Auckland not becoming an internationally competitive city, not becoming a global city, not being internationally competitive.
Dick Hubbard,
investment,
what
growth and
specifically are you worried about?
I'm worried about the effect of style on the people of Auckland.
If you're making that an election issue, then
yes,
people vote for it.
I'm making style an election issue, I certainly am, but I'm also making a raft of policies.
There needs to be a few specifics.
Yes, there are, and there's putting that emphasis on.
The only policy that I've heard him come up with that's got any sense at all is he supports the Eastern Corridor. Oh yes, he supports the Eastern Corridor.
Actually, what you're telling me is that there are a whole lot of people who are intolerant of John Banks.
Yes, there are a lot of people that are intolerant. They find that style just totally unacceptable.
Well,
we've moved on from that. That's the old Muldoonism style. In your face, knock your opponents out, insult everybody.
But hang on, isn't that what John Banks said was an insult earlier on?
It's interesting that these people that attack Sir Robert Muldoon when he is dead, they wouldn't have the guts to attack him when he was alive.
I don't want to get into the late Sir Robert Muldoon, who was a personal friend of mine.
I think it's disgusting, I think it's gratuitous, I think it's wrong. You will never ever hear me attack the dead.
He says listen to this, he says I'm Muldoonist. That's what he says. He says I'm Muldoonist, but he spends 6 weeks attacking me.
I do not take myself seriously. And I take my job seriously, but I don't take myself seriously.
I am a boy racer myself. There's nothing wrong with boy racers. Most of them are very responsible young people.
Okay, this is for Dick Hubbard. We've heard a lot about your history, but what do you stand for on the transport system? This is a problem in Auckland, and we've heard from Christine. Thank you, Christine. What are your policies? Stop talking about the history. Give us the facts and the future.
He's all set in the history and his history and his education, and I don't think that's good for a mayor to be. And plus he's only getting votes because of his cereal company.
Very, very nice, is damn good cereal. I'm like, I don't think that's the best reason to vote for someone for mayor.
I didn't even know that he made rice bubbles. I had no idea that he was a rice bubble maker.
So, which one of you, or who of you, would vote for Christine? Scream and shout. And who would vote for John Banks? And who would vote for Dick Hubbard?
After the mayoral debate, I decided to vote for Christine Fletcher because she supports an improvement in public transport and I'm claustrophobic.
So now John Banks is freaking out. He's freaking out that he's going to get beaten by a guy who has got his popularity from cereal.
That's right, but I was kind of like, I said to Dick afterwards, I was like, if John Banks wasn't worried, he wouldn't be attacking you like he is. He would just ignore you. And so you're obviously doing something right.
I think most of the text messages were from students or young people because they tended to say things like, hey man, cool dude, you rock. And in those text messages, there's one from someone who said, hey, I've got a good slogan for you, it's Tick Dick. We thought it was good, and we're using it.
Tick Dick? You serious? Someone had a sign up there called Tick Dick. What did Mr. Hubbard say about that?
No, that's his sign.
You have to be joking. Really? Okay.
What I would like to see is that particular signpost, or whatever you want to call, removed, because I think it's an insult to anybody who doesn't know our organisation. They would get that impression that we are pro this particular candidate.
There's some funny things happen in this campaign. There's a lot of humour.
I'll take it down, that's no problem. Yeah. Thank you, but I assume you're a dick.
I don't think that a majority of Aucklanders are going to tick Dick.
I never ever said that at all, and I'll explain just now. Hang on, you're a paid employee of John Banks. You cannot.
Not in my own time.
No, well, just let me address the question. Just a question. No, sorry, I don't believe that John Banks' private secretary should be giving me.
In my own time, I'm allowed to come along to a public meeting.
My secretary, PA Trish Wandon, who's been with me 12 years, went straight for the throat. Went straight for his throat. And he didn't enjoy it.
But I'm sorry, I think that there is a conflict of interest. If John Banks' private secretary, I'm sorry, I do believe that. But I'll get back to the sorry? Okay, I rest my case. I believe there is a conflict of interest.
Order. A question was asked. Order. A question was asked. Dick Hubbard wants to answer it. Here, please.
Yeah, now, can someone just remind me what the question was? I got something. No, sorry.
At the start of the meeting tonight, you said there is no truth to the rumour.
She was eyeballing me quite badly and giving very negative body language. She's only sitting about 6 feet away from me.
This is bizarre. Did he say that? This is bizarre. Trish Wandon's my PA. She's a ratepayer. She lives in the city. She lives in the middle of the city. This was 9 o'clock at night. This is the democracy we live in.
We lodged a complaint with Brian Taylor the next morning.
You can't be a sensitive, new age, tick, dick guy and expect people not to have a larrup at you.
Today, Dick Hubbard admitted he was seeking advice on whether to lodge a formal complaint over postbox drops of a reprint of articles in the National Business Review. He claims the reprints were distributed by John Banks's campaign manager, Brian Nicole.
We are taking action against the NBR because they called us a liar, and absolutely and categorically we were not a liar. We never said we'd done 2 triple bottom line reports.
He talks about triple bottom line. Here at Auckland City, we publish triple bottom line reporting every year. He's done it once. Statement of fact.